Fortunate turn of events for to look at your overall standings when you're not really looking good. Nightmare fan, especially knowing that how you cannot really afford to do that. On the other hand, Astro Academy, a rotation inside the circle, but this also might mean that
approach, but more smarter. And withstand the damage really have their eyes set on towards them, so they have to take zone kind of going towards the quarry area, and it's been quite a areas, and you've got even fairy peer. So is it gonna be really clinical for them if they've got that? Getting this one,
Astro Academy and TDK are colliding against each other. On the other hand, Zeus is spot. Damage godless, almost connected all of his bullets. Finally, aptly puts the final bullet right in. I mean, that's a massive casualty, and he cannot afford. All the teams, or most of the teams that are in the bottom fixes, they're falling down.
This is sort of a set those central circles right in front of us, but the top sort of puts me into thinking as to.
Pretty sure that was TDK because I did mention that, and most of the times I did mention as well, late game rotations don't a lot of damage from the zone. You're using a lot of first aid kills. I mean, hey man, look, just like Zeus did in the start, and something planned for the future, and maybe Astro.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's simply adopting and adapting to enter from the northeastern areas. Now they do not
exactly. On the other hand, we have high voltage team that has been. They are pretty. Might be pretty critical for both of these. They decided Clash got a casualty on their back.
No, I'm already at the fourth circle. Already has his eyes set on towards on top, and how it's gonna. He's taken some massive damage, but somehow
goes falling down there. Happily, finally there in the nearby vicinity. On the other hand, 1952, take a look at us, man, continuing their domination in this game. Not going to be backing off anytime soon, but Apes, they are from the side of Apes as well, but Century does realize the depth of the situation, and he can. Repositioning is the best bet he can take.
The revivals are going to be coming in as the fight is yet to get engaging against Stalwart, and we do see Sanjit again, but White somehow survives though. He needs to heal him. Just gotta come down, but Sanjit having spotted sharks in the ocean.
In the lobby as well. Kind of seniors of the juniors there. On Galzin, we do know how accurate DRS's nades are. Is taking a passive approach. Sanchier's position is pretty interesting.
The vision of the players of DRS with those smokes. Now Ninja is gonna wait for the smokes to disappear. This again. Shroud of the smoke that they have for themselves, and Nima is restless and he's getting impatient. He wants to take
Apes Apes seems like they do not want to back off. Damage is possible. On the other hand, another fight happening from the lands, but Cooney from the side of high voltage has already been taken right next to each other, and as the circle is going to be shrinking down.
And crew right in front of them are players of high voltage, but to secure that one good knock. Can he get the third one though? We've got Sandesh and Ayush still in. No, the backup is definitely there as Assassin. Can high voltage clutch this one out though?
Incredible job keeping PA crew on their toes. He does know now. He's playing on a defensive stance there, healing himself behind the Assassin is trying to play this out pretty safe. And yes, he did, and he got taken down by the player's end.
That's gonna hurt, man. For his life, and he's gonna go down. Even Smokey not in, and we've got Honk right in front of us.
And Smoke is hiding right inside the smoke, waiting for those rifles. Let's see. She for sure did try to kind of fight, stepping up their game, man. I like this.
Yeah, even I love actually taking those fights for the. I have been talking about Team Zeus, the way they have been controlling that engagement with the players of T2K, but right here we have three teams in front of us. Crypto being the lonesome survivor, going all the way.
Take a look at that laser beam spray coming out from the side of Bay there. But Bay, though, still wants to connect a little bit of shots. A temporary cover for themselves using that. Back on the teammate. Godless should be safe. Please use that. Okay, he is present there, so do not cross.
But the same cannot really be said for the boys from top. Some beautiful, beautiful clutches over here as grenade cook right onto it. Crypto is gonna advance. Can he take him down though? Instantly switching it on the 7th spot.
DRS is also pretty in the open grounds. You don't really have a lot of cover. 1952 fast as possible, but Zeus is there on the hilltop, still looking pretty decent in this overall game. On the other hand, Ash is pressuring them down, and they are getting picked
by the boys from Zeus themselves, because that Astro Academy are in the center of the zone. Heavy pressure because vision, even the altitude, gonna take a few shots, has sort of surrounded there, will secure that knock and instantly
Astro Academy, they're kind of the center of attraction. Man alive is not going to be there anymore. Zeus on the other hand trying to look at IC there, hiding behind the airdrop. Armor for himself.
Maybe, yeah, of course. That will do the damage as he's taken down top. He is crying for his life, but he's not gonna get spared. Hunter are certainly back. We did, to be honest, this is not the first time. Mess up just a little bit, and in the second day, considering how late they were in towards the very end zone. It's been a long journey, but right now there, as the desk is gonna be breaking all the fights down. Are you keeping it real?
With an annihilating play coming in from Zioff, and I'm your host, Blono. Joining us, of course, are going to be Ocean, as well as that, well, what? Where was this team in the first 3 days? Yes.
Asking, I mean, obviously they might be testing the Warriors, but the views that we have seen, dominating back and back.
in the team. This time
Wow.
again, they were playing the edge and they did it.
647 damage, 1 assist, and 20 time it's decent. 5 kills for the MVP. To see that had kill numbers and damage numbers, that means kills 10, the other ones not so much.
Exactly, and in this game as well, let's see a sort of bounce in performance from that momentum from yesterday to the matches today. Was right there.
He had 1 assist and that still contributes to 21 points. He has a decent number for themselves, so that's a decent damage graph. That's looking good for top players. Yeah, so 5. That's just how it is, right? And Joker and Demon, they were
lads for their team, and that is definitely gonna put Skylight Gaming on the top 8, the top 5 in the next few matches, and that is something that is outshining themselves.
This is what I was talking, right? He had 21.9, and that's where Joker shines up against Demon in 3 assists with. That's we've seen them before as well. In the you know right, 11 kills from Zeus. That's good.
That day gets started off. Zeus Esports are certainly, you had mentioned, you know, teams from the 9 to aggression. Exactly. I mean, High Voltage also bringing in the action with survived to the later stages of the game, but the early game aggression is where this is happening to late esports. Yes, thinking, all right, finally they are getting into the groove. Maybe they have messed up a 5-game. They can bounce back today. First game,
7 points for DRS. 15 for Astra Academy. They'll have for themselves.
the difference is still going to be pretty massive. But would have taken the first position away. DRS is going to come down a little. These 3 games to make it to actually contend these. Finally, the rotations are working in their favor. The zones, yes, make a really.
Southern side, then they move from northern side again. They were. That's where, if you'll see, you know, T2K are moving forward. Because Zeus, look at this. Once he's looking onto the back support, while
Zeus from yesterday, they're not in the center. They're back on the edges. That is where they feel the. So this was a game where the comfort zone from where they were able to get the chicken dinner. But then again, there was a lot of from the south just finishing EU individual players left from those squads. So OPPO is lined up as well. It is time to look at.
so this is where, you know, the early skirmishes did happen. You know, after the rotations and all. Spray that obviously is not here. That was a good DP spray. Well, it did not take the player down though, but still, they have good calls. I'm pretty sure they have brilliant calls. But the thing is, understanding. Not do a lot of damage to that. You'll still, you know, getting.
The communication itself seemed a little bit faltered, but by Aussie and Assassin, that was incredible. Though that was the only option left to escape. Nightmare Gaming right there that we witnessed just run.
I would say that was a smoke which was not. Zeus just came back. Good with their fights, but still it comes down to one thing, and that is they'll have, because it's on par with the competition.
Numbers.
Numbers is about it, but talking about numbers, taken over by a few select teams that resulted in so many of them.
And Zeus Esports. Skylight Gaming being a little bit more as well. For Zeus it was Godless actually dishing out and
Skylight took really smart fights because the damage stat is not as what they did. But again, you're talking about Zeus Esports, right? Entire lobby, and with that, of course, the powers showcase that. Moving on along to the story. Now, DRS not having a good start, but Zeus certainly placement points in the top.
that's Zeus Esports for you. That's it.
Exactly. So only team right now in top 5, 63, 66, 84. Now there's a lead of Zeus as well at points. I just want to see. It's
Already Esports as well. 32 kills by the team. Just hungry. They like to get those points for themselves. I think they will have a hang of things. We're going to see this team make about 16. This is where, I mean, things get really interesting because go down all the way to Lit Esports. One game can, from just even struggling to survive, you are going to be challenged
to the schedule and find out where exactly are we jumping into. Plays with one thing and some plays short, and this time we might see them in the final circle. Put that pedal to the floor. Best fight that we saw.
DRS versus Astra, the final fight. Those were so seeing the bolt action in action. So we're gonna.
But right now, let's have a look at the map chance coming in for the map of. It is, but you remember how they actually just have that chick. They like to start slow, but then they move forward.
An opportunity to strike, and the moment you slip.
Along with that, of course, when it comes to consistency, that is latter half of the leaderboard are going to be bringing themselves up that much more. It is none other than Blay and XP to take us through this Miramar game.
Thank you again for that blotter, always wonderful. In person, I also noticed how Ocean has finally rolled up his sleeve. His veins popping out. If he's getting the vaccine, I'm assuming he's gonna be.
They don't even need to go any higher, but the thing is, it is an intramuscular injection. It does have a structure, and you know, even for normal functions, you need to have some job there on the analyst deck. Words, but anyway, it is exciting because
Deskment.
I love the fact. Example, yesterday, by the time we got done with game 3, they was on a roll, which just goes to show.
Highlight something which was alluded to on 46 points in total. Here's a curious stat. I'm not sure if our desk number of kill points behind Astro Academy, DRS Gaming, and Zeus Academy, and the fourth is Stalwart Esports on 32. They also right above INV Esports, Nightmare Gaming, right above. I have to agree with the desk. They, I love the aggression. Are just kind of maybe over aggressive.
Approach. Not a matter of their aggression, because time and time out, I've seen these guys are getting caught off. Leave a little late for the circle, or now as the teams are going to be jumping out, we are going to expect everyone dropping down to. Because usually it's Astro Academy who drop down, but looks like
Not count these guys out. They are right now placed fourth. Tournament as we switch over to where Nightmare, they're They're going to be
Live, I
starting
can't see the map
off
view.
on the right note. Hong will get the high voltage, a team who they've been kind of middle of the pack so far. Too shabby, neither too bad. It's kind of off on the wrong foot here. Our high voltage for Nightmare, everything can still happen.
I like that this time it's the opposite effect. And as you did mention, 2 kills this early on is... This is something that I'm actually looking forward to, because this is a new 1950. Just a month ago, 1952 were looking a bit shaky of the entire tournament, and you know, some might say fair. However, this time around, these boys are on picking fights with the top tiers. Again, it goes to show that the confidence is really there, and on big screens, and they really have improved. They've done it because it's a message for everyone out there.
Looking for, and some of these teams are really hold on. The Parayo, and the circle is way up north towards Lacro. Water treatment. Feeling very comfortable, and so are Deadeye's guys, but for the remainder of the teams, play zone here. I can already see 7C heading towards El Azahar, taking the highway route.
8 by 8 kilometer square map. So I mean, a lot of amazing markers just to show off the logos. They usually render in at about are going to be out there. They're the paths that each team takes. If you are at the periphery or at the enemy, because again, like I said, the first thing that you are those cars moving in the distance, so you know you can kind of gauge. Because you got to keep one thing in mind: the moment you do that, sure that that kill is going to come through. What's happening is figure this mid-winter knows that he has a vector. Finally, now he
that UAZ is very, very close to Academy Scry, taking quite a bit of damage, and we do have a glider in play. Basically, just glide around. It's very scenic. Again, the fortunate thing is he's also visible to a lot of players, and a lot. Say the likes of maybe a Zeus Esports or an Astra Academy. Straight out of the air, but Winter's having a ball here. I like this.
That is unusual in a competitive level match. Maybe window, but now the problem is, although it does look pretty, well, that level 1 helmet and West is in as well. But that was a nice little change of pace. Now it's a little plain, and there's some action, especially down at the end. Everyone is on through the call.
Legendson is gonna get the first knock onto LIT. Finishes off IP and crew. Legend obviously had some individually, but that's the same thing towards his teammate, where he should be able to reach quite his prey all by his lonesome. So yeah, there it is. One from above, looking to get a little bit of vengeance.
Eat some of my lead. That's exactly what's happening. Kilowatty and his teammate with the he's going to have the tires popped off soon. As she was a little bit of an oopsie early on, where I was kind of cribbing about happening in the world of Miramar, and you know what? I'm a happy camper as well. Let's have a look. It's going to be a northeastern
piece, but one thing is, it is going to be on side rotations real quickly, though, right? XP, very home in the form of El Pozo, DRS. Their leaderboards are going to become that 7 seats took, and they might be coming in through El Azahar in between. Everyone else are the meat in this.
Or taking it slow, coming to the circle. Something that they did. Started making the rotation all the way from Novo up towards the Gatka region. As Astra Academy, and these boys can definitely handle This team, especially in a map of such for the open, they love those little ditches and they love controlling for the push, which again is something exciting because of them being, you know, kind of locked in one position, which fortifying a compound, for example. But and you know, people are always expecting flabbergasted, to be honest with you, the fact that these guys in a map. Third position, 84 points, and talk about
You can never ever count what you're talking about.
Maybe, yeah, it's just a totally random. But the fact that from Mongolia to the finals to the Southeast. Maybe all that, you know, kind of gets to your ace up until game 3, but then, you know, they just put everything aside. The game.
Yeah, and I feel like that. I feel like that's what separates the, you know, the good. Doesn't matter how, just claw their way back. Oh, it looks like they're gonna. The sand is bleeding out. The blue taking a soul. The circle is going to shrink even further, and quite there he is with Zanz, and there is a team right next to it. There's one just
already sports. They do house and fires up a few shots. I mean, it's more of a statement, really. Hey, you know, it's a big gun. You get hit, it's the old, I don't know, it's a good thing to have, even if you know, people coming towards you, potential pair, and actually go out and get some fights.
You have Icy taking a couple. Skylight Gaming. It's interesting how, you know, the AWM stands for the complete opposite of opted to isolate one player, and that is getting hounding as well from the side for the side of for 7th as well by Smokey version 2, and looking that good for Astro Academy.
Mind you, it was a wonderful play, keeping them at bay, and now he moves back and lay down some lead. But you know what? It is going to continue as Scry up as his teammate is going to be put 6 feet under.
One has reloaded at the same time in action. He will legs and Astro keep the circle, but with his play zone shifting right now, maybe not bad, right? He can make his way down.
He
but
can.
There is that sheer cliff XP.
He's running himself over with his own vehicle. That is definitely going to fire from elsewhere. Now, just quickly going back to that little
cover here, but it is not looking good for the side of SD. Stalwart Esports have all 4 members alive. Reviews cooking the nade, going to be tossing it towards a tractor. It will, however, not find its mark. And Jimmy, one shots towards another team. But here, Johnny's been taken down. He's got to try and heal himself. Not stop. They continue to hound him, continue to abuse. But Blade able to recover in the nick of time, gets the knock. I do believe are down to the one man left standing. It is far
peeking out of keeping him at bay and using the smoke deployed by actually paid off for him. It would have been a phenomenal play because again
Academy finished outside of the top 10.
It is actually, that is lo and behold. Human, there you have it. I mean, they can be taken off. Circle is going to be. They do have that compound and that little ridge right in the center for a little piece of that property as Icy needs to move over.
The benefit taken out of the equation. Nightmare Gaming, but the nade will find its mark. And meanwhile, Ably getting taken up by the play zone. That Mark crawling away, trying to find a semblance of safety. Icy is gonna burn alive to the. Nightmare are coming out on top on this with this in the smoke. For how long can he crawl around? A Nightmare. I do hope there is a God watching for him from above, because is buggy, but time seems to be running out for the lone line. There is another team very close by in the play zone waiting for this. Guys inside of the compound.
Not only Deadeye's guys, it's going to goes down. Rose gets taken down by a beautiful spray by Hungry Bots. Takes Coco down to his knees and tries to finish that kill. Incorporated team is standing by as well, and that was as far as they're concerned, because they did have an